What's up everybody, AnimeX here, and in this video, I will be adding yet another part into the What If Naruto Was an Otsutsuki What If. This is due to the overall really good reception that I've been getting with the series, and just due to the grind to finish this What If for you guys. Now, as you know, if you've been on this channel for a little bit, and you've seen the community tab, you know that I took a little bit of a hiatus, took a little trip during my spring break, right? And it's finally back. We're finally done with that arc. We're coming back, and we're back into the What If grind. So, hopefully be happy for that. Make sure to get this video, get it doing pretty well. As usual, I'll be recapping the last part of the series before jumping into the new material. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, in the last part of the What If, a good bit happened, and I know that it's been a good bit of time since I've actually done it, so this recap may be a little long. In the last part of this What If, a lot quite happened, like I've already said a little bit, but basically, we went through Zetsu meeting up with Naruto, specifically Black Zetsu, and Zetsu is starting to plant the seeds of doubt, plant seeds that he will later be using in his journey to manipulate, trick, and, just catch Naruto overall off guard with his deception like he would have, or he has tried to with Madara, Uchiha, and Obito, right? He's basically trying to incorporate Naruto, this new factor, into his plan, and a little bit of that was happening. Naruto wasn't really having this, and got rid of Zetsu. Throughout the What If, we really just saw Zetsu's endeavors going from place to place, or really just from Naruto to the Hokage, specifically Hiruzen, and kind of informed him on what had happened. Talked about Naruto stealing the Nine Tails, talked about his mission, and overall, Zetsu is just working on manipulating the entire world in order to revive and bring back Kaguya. Now, after that happened, we briefly skipped over to Naruto pulling up to the land hidden in the clouds, or the Cloud Village, and basically set up the prelude to the Killer Bee versus Naruto fight, which is where we're going to jump right back into the video. Now, like I said, we last left off with Killer Bee facing off against Naruto, and as Naruto looked at Killer Bee, who is the Jinchuriki host of the Eight Tails, who Naruto acknowledges as the second strongest beast after Kurama, the QB himself. Now, as Killer Bee charges at Naruto, he pulls out all of his swords and starts attacking Naruto with his weird and unorthodox sword style, thinking that Naruto should not be able to compensate. "You shouldn't have tried to capture me, Killer Bee! Fool, you fool!" Killer Bee then spins around and stabs all of his blades all at Naruto's body, ready to pierce and puncture him. However, as soon as he does this, he realizes that Naruto has dodged all of these attacks with ease. Is that all that the Eight Tails has to offer? Naruto then disappears from Killer Bee's vision and kicks him in the stomach hard enough to send him flying. Come on now, QB. This is the beast that is supposed to be close to you in strength? Rather disappointing if you ask me. Kurama inside of Naruto's head then just crosses his arms and slightly turns. "The Eight Tails is nowhere near me in strength. Don't put his failings upon me." Naruto then just smirks upon hearing this. Then, just in Naruto's peripheral vision, he sees Bee rush at him with orange cloaks and orange chakra all over his body. "Lariat, you fool!" Bee then slams his arm directly into Naruto's throat before using it to continuously launch him into the ground. After this happens, Killer Bee watches the ground closely and waits for any signs of life from Naruto after that attack. That should have done the trick, alright. Now, as soon as Bee utters these words, the smoke around the crater that he made clears and Naruto is standing there, perfectly fine. No scratches, no injuries, not even so much as a scuff on his clothing. It's almost like Bee didn't even hit him. Naruto then looks at the somewhat nervous Killer Bee with a huge grin that unnerves Gyuki and Killer Bee alike. "I was courteous enough to let you hit me, so the least you could do is hit me with everything you have." Bee then starts getting a little riled up, as he and Gyuki start revving up their chakra levels to fight at nearly full strength. "Fine, boy. I'm no longer playing with you. This is the power of me and the Hachi Bee. Killer Bee! Bee then transforms into his version 2 cloak, amping himself to the max, and then roars into the air, shaking the very ground that they are fighting on. You ready, fool, you fool? At this level, a simple lariat will destroy you. Oh, really? Naruto smiles slyly when he says this, clearly trying to provoke Killer Bee to be idiotic and rash. And of course, Killer Bee, not being the most tactical fighter, takes the bait. He digs his heels into the ground and charges to the max before leaping into a lariat directly at Naruto, arm aiming for his throat, ready to decapitate this enemy in an instant. But before he can even touch Naruto, Naruto decides to act first, being bored of this fight and not really caring to see Killer Bee hit him one more time. The instant that Killer Bee's arm is about to connect and touch Naruto's neck, Naruto throws an uppercut that connects with Killer Bee's jaw and knocks him out instantly, breaking his jaw in the process. And just like that, the fight is over. Inside of Killer Bee's body, the Hachibi is worried and is really wondering what is going to happen to Bee, although he's really powerless to do anything from inside of him without a host to really power up. This was mildly interesting and somewhat entertaining, to say the least. Naruto is thinking about Bee's power and combative ability while using the Eight Tails chakra, and starts really considering if humans do have some value in terms of their combat. Maybe their chakra control is very bad, but their chakra levels are very bad, but the amount or the ability to which they can control their chakra is something that is rivaling Otsutsuki in terms of their ingenuity. You were pretty ingenious for a human. Using a tailed beast chakra like that in tandem with your size and maneuverability is nothing less than impressive. I commend you for that, and as such, I will treat you like a warrior and not like a ant. Naruto then just picks up the unconscious body of Bee. Now, as this happens, our perspectives quickly switch over to that of Darui and the Raikages as they are heading towards the location of the Eight Tails chakra spike that they sensed. Darui is currently trying to convince the Raikage to accept the message of the Leaf Village Hokage and just attend the Kage summit that was offered to him in order to hear what he has to say. And Raikage, being the blustering, angry meathead that he is, just is not having it. No, Darui, I already told you that if the 4th Hokage is not the one who is hosting this summit, then I don't have enough respect for any other Kage to actually go. But sir, if you read the message fully, I think you'd pay much more attention since it concerns Bee as well. Don't insult me, Darui. Of course I read the letter. I know they lost their tailed beast, and I know they are warning every other Kage in village to keep theirs safe. But I think they're just incompetent, and I refuse to work with them. Darui, knowing that once A has made up his mind, it's almost impossible to change it, just resigns himself to really trying. Yes, sir. The two of them, while walking, wondering what Bee is doing if he's just really being an idiot, then hear Bee roar in the distance, indicating that he is in full battle mode, and most likely using the Eight Tails' chakra. Darui and A then rush over in order to see what all the commotion is, but as soon as they are finally arrived to the area where Bee was fighting, they see that the fight is no longer happening. They see that the fight is completely over. Bee is knocked unconscious, bleeding from his mouth, and pretty bruised on his body. They also notice that he is slumped on the shoulders of a little kid with pale, stark white skin, lightly colored hair, and eyes that resemble a Hyuga's with their pale coloration. Instantly, both A and Darui recognize this kid as the same one who allegedly stole the entirety of the Nine Tails from the village. Just based off the description, they can tell. You! Get your hands off of Bee right now! The Raikage then goes into his version 2 lightning cloak and gets ready to use body flicker in order to kill this kid and retrieve Killer Bee from his clutches. But before he does, Naruto cuts him off. Sorry, can't do that. I need his chakra for my mission, and you aren't important enough for me to stop for. A does not care about anything that Naruto is saying right now and just charges full speed at him, body flicker and all, in order to get his brother back. But as he closes in on him, As he closes the distance and as he truly gets close, A sees this little kid smile wickedly and completely disappear from not only his vision, but Darui's vision, who was much farther and had a much wider angle of perspective. And A's eyes widen in surprise upon noticing that he's been completely blitzed. He dodged me at my full speed. This is just like that time. A's mind then goes back to the time that Minato had utterly and completely embarrassed his full speed. That was basically the time where the Raikage had gained a little bit of respect for the Leaf Village, or at least Minato in particular. But he realizes very quickly, no, this is different. I'm much faster now, and he didn't teleport. He moved his body faster than my eye could see. Now, as Ace stops his charge, he turns around to see Naruto, walking calmly away from him, with not a care in the world. Don't you walk away from me! Fight me right now! Naruto then just turns around and stares at the Raikage, the same way that a human would look at a mere cockroach, and just scrunches up his face in disgust. Fight you? No, you misunderstand. You are irrelevant to my plans, and I haven't had a fight since I arrived on this damned planet. You definitely aren't going to be the first. A looks angry at this and stomps his feet into the ground. Haven't had a fight since you arrived, but you took down B and the Nine Tails, didn't you? Naruto then just chuckles at first, but as he keeps laughing, it turns into a maniacal, twisted laughter that upsets A and completely paralyzes and stuns Darui. You call those fights, but I ask you, do you call the confrontation between you and a bug a fight? Naruto then just turns around and disappears without a second word, a second thought, or any other sentence. Completely enrages the Raikage to the point where he slams his fist into the earth, repeatedly, continuously punching the ground, releasing his anger and frustration into the earth until his hands start getting bruised and start bleeding. Darui looks at the Raikage's rage, sees this unabiding and unsympathizing rage, and himself understands, knowing that he, along with the entire village of the Hidden Cloud, have lost a comrade, a strong warrior, and specifically in the Raikage's instance, a brother. Darui then approaches A as he stops throwing his fists around, seeing that the temper tantrum is starting to slow down and become a little less vengeful, a little less angry, and he approaches. Sir? Darui, gather one other person to be a part of my guard. We are attending that summit. Darui then nods. Of course, sir. Our perspectives then once more shift to a place very far from the Cloud Village, and very far from any village in particular, that is. This place is hidden in the dark dampness of a cave. In this cave stand several ninja in black cloaks. These cloaks have red clouds spotted across them, representing the rain and suffering that goes on in the leader's village. This assembly of people is known as the Otsutsuki. They are currently meeting up in an emergency fashion in order to assess and devise a plan in order to deal with the bumps in the road of this operation. The first one to speak is the leader of the Otsutsuki, and the one with the fabled Rinnegan, Pain. I'm glad we could all make this very sporadic assembly. I greatly appreciate all of your devotion to this mission, and I appreciate that you are all here in a timely manner. Hidan steps forward with his scythe swinging wildly at his side, passively. Why don't we skip the formalities and just skip straight to the point where I can cut someone and offer them up to Jashin? Pain looks at Hidan with those Rinnegan and stares intently into his eyes, and Hidan, the usually boastful, the usually outgoing and loud person, just slowly but surely falls silent. And Pain continues. I know you are all very busy people, so I'll be quick and precise with what I have to say. We have competition who is moving very quickly to attain the tailed beast chakra. Zetsu, would you like to explain the info that you have gotten and shared with me? Of course I would. Zetsu strolls to the middle of everyone and makes contact with each, or eye contact I should say, with each and every one of them before talking. Alright, I'm going to speak for both of us here since my lighter half is a little less intelligent and articulate. Black Zetsu then decides to speak up and really gain the attention of everyone around him. Now, there's a kid who is collecting the Biju. He is already taking the 8 and 9 tails, and most likely the next target he will go for is the 7 tails, and just go in descending order from there until he has all of them. Now, before we can continue, Orochimaru gets excited when hearing this and cuts Zetsu off and starts speaking. So, you are saying that a kid is doing all of the hard work for us? Zetsu raises an eyebrow to this, but decides to let Orochimaru continue his thought. This can quite easily be something that falls in our favor. If we let him collect these Biju, then take the boy and drain him of all of his chakra, then we only have to attain one fairly strong beast. Or was no one able to come up with this line of thinking themselves? Zetsu then just shakes his head, deterring Orochimaru or anyone else from following this line of thinking. This boy isn't someone that can be taken lightly, Orochimaru. In fact, he is so strong, I'm not confident in our abilities, or our current abilities. I'm not sure that they would be able to even take him down. Every member in the Akatsuki has their own different reaction to this claim, but they remain silent nonetheless. Last thing before I let our leader speak once more. I clearly just said that this boy might be something too much for us. But to put into perspective how strong he really is, this boy's chakra is above the levels of even the 9 and 8 tails combined. That, in tandem with the multiple dojutsu that he'll be able to develop as time goes on, means that he'll truly be a problem for any organization, much less just a tag team of you guys. So I strongly recommend that each and every one of you refrain from approaching him. Zetsu then turns his gaze to Orochimaru, especially you, Snake. Orochimaru then smiles coyly. Attack this kid and try to take him for myself? The thought never crossed my mind. Zetsu then takes one step towards Orochimaru, but Pain grabs his shoulder and stops him right there. I'll take it from here. Zetsu then nods, and Pain steps forward, grabbing everyone's attention with not his words and not any gesture, but just his mere presence. We are going to capture and neutralize this child, since he is clearly jeopardizing our mission of capturing the Biju. But we are going to do this intelligently, skillfully, and tactfully. Zetsu has clearly alerted me that the Kage are spooked by having their weapons taken away from them. We are going to use this to our advantage, and go to the summit that they have decided to call. This works to our advantage in several ways. First off, we can let the Kage come up with a plan to take him down, and we can just piggyback that, and then combat a weakened child after the Kage inevitably die from this fight. If I decided it will be beneficial to our cause, another option is that we can just kill the Kage there, which would make our mission of capturing the Biju that much easier. And finally, if we assess this child's power and come to the realization that he's too strong, if he's too strong for us to kill him alone, then we hire out our services and combine with the Kage in order to kill this kid. Steal the Biju's chakra, then turn on the Kage and slaughter them. Any one of these plans will deal with a massive amount of pain to these villages, along with the Kage themselves, and we'll be able to gain the Biju's chakra. Are there any questions? Pain then looks around the room and sees no one opposing his opinions, nor bringing up any of their own questions or strategies. Alright then. In 1 week's time, when the 5 Kage gather together to formulate a plan, we'll infiltrate this summit. Pain once more checks for anyone disagreeing with what he says, And when he realizes that no one is, he decides to adjourn this. Disperse. As soon as he says this, all the Akatsuki members rush off in different directions and disappear. The only one left beside him is Conan, who stands beside Pain and, stands at his side. Are you sure this is a good plan? Or is this a good idea? Pain nods before walking deeper into the cave. If you don't trust my judgment, let's get a second opinion. No, that's not what I meant. I trust you. I was just wondering if you think that this is the best approach. No, it's fine. I understand what you mean, but why don't we ask the man in charge? Conan and Pain then walk for a minute or two into the cave and see the glow of a solitary Sharingan in the darkness. I'm sure you overheard me speak of the plan, so what do you think, Madara Uchiha? The man in the mask then just looks intently at Pain and nods. The plan is fine, Pain. Prepare yourself, though, because this kid is not something or someone to be trifled with. Pain then scoffs. He may not, but neither are we. Madara then just smiles at this remark and warps away, disappearing and leaving Conan and Pain in the darkness of the damp cave. And that, everybody, is where I'm going to end part 5 to the What If Naruto Was an Otsutsuki series. If you guys are enjoying so far, you're just eating this series up for some reason, right? You just kind of like the creativity that's happening. Hit the like button. Comment your thoughts on like the video and the series as a whole down below, just to let me know what you guys are thinking about this, right? I'm really interested on feedback on this because this is besides the What If Anime X was in Naruto. By the way, update video on that, an update will be coming up on Variety X, like the plans for the channel. But anyways, besides What If Anime X was in Naruto, this is probably one of the what ifs where I taken the most creative liberties and just strayed the farthest from the canon. The canyon? Did I say canyon? That's crazy. But anyways, where I've strayed farthest from the canon, if I can speak correctly. And I know that you guys have been saying I need more variety and I need more, more general, straying away from what is usually happening, right? And if you've noticed, this is what I'm trying to do with this Otsutsuki What If. So keep that in mind. If you guys enjoy that and you want to see more of that, right, let me know, because I definitely have plans of other What Ifs that can change the story dramatically and not just go through the same arcs and deal with the same thing. So if you like the idea of me kind of directing Naruto into different ways, paths, and flows, let me know. By the way, I did put up a community tab poll to ask what if series, what anime you want other What If series on, if you guys do at all. So just let me know on that, and if you have any ideas for that type of stuff, just let me know what your reception to be to different animes getting What Ifs on the channel. Anyways, as usual, I'll leave links to my social media and that kind of stuff in the description below if you want to hit me up, talk to me. I'll leave a link to Variety X since I'm starting to post on there a little bit more consistently. Trying to do at least once a week, maybe twice. But anyways, as usual, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, guys, this is Anime X, signing off.